Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode of Maverick Base Designs. And in this episode, I'm bringing you the Legacy. Now the Legacy is basically a revamping of my 4-year-old Dreadnought design. Now I'm going to start by showing you the footprint here, and as you can see the TCs are on display, and I'm just showing you what happens if you lose one, maybe two of those TCs and the order that you can replace them in. So as you can see, we can't place this TC because of privilege from the TC to our left. All we have to do is remove these foundations and that will disconnect the TC from the build. Now we can place this TC down, then reconnect the last TC. We'll start by putting down 3 triangle foundations and then putting walls up on that and a door. Get a shelf up for storage and then get your frames in, and you can get 2 doors to your TC now. Put down your hexagon core foundations, and once you've done that we can now wall in the sides. Now we're going to put in the floating stability bunker, and that will allow us to seal in the roof. Build this loot room on the side, get it finished off, and that'll seal that doorway off completely. We're not quite going to finish this loot room off. We're going to miss out a wall. That way we can put in a frame, and we got 2 doors then going into our core. So we don't have to keep using the bunker. We'll keep that sealed for now. Do not put a door frame in that very outside opening, because later on we'll want to put a wall in there and seal this off completely. Now we're going to go outside and we're going to lay the foundations for the honeycomb which goes between the loot rooms. Now we're just sealing the top of the honeycomb. I do like to put a bit of wood on the top of the bunker just so that my neighbours will waste their Molotovs burning that wood out just to find there's a bunker underneath. Now leave this outer ring of foundations twig for the time being, and that's so that you can remove a piece to connect in another base like this. So now we twig out 10 square foundations, and when we get to the 10th square we keep that one in place, remove all the others, and then we're going to triangle all the way back. These last 2 foundations need to be square, and you need to get rid of that triangle in order to fit them in. Get rid of all of these, you don't need them anymore. And then we're going to go out 5 squares in total from the base that we've just built. Now what I've done here is I've shown you where the outer ring of foundations are, and then we're going to choose a spot where we're going to put our TC. Now you don't have to copy me. In fact, the best thing you can do is put the TC in one of the other loot rooms. That way raiders can't use this as a raid guide. Now this tower is set up exactly the same as the first one we built, so just repeat the process. Now this tower is a little bit different to the other two, so I'm going to show you how to build this one. Now that's the outer layer of foundations done, and the inner layer of foundations, we've missed out one there, one of the triangles, and that's where the TC is going to go. And now we set up this foundation in the middle, that's for our TC to go on, and that's not going to contact the base until we put the twig in. Now you probably noticed that I haven't put any loot rooms in this tower, but you can put loot rooms in it, I just prefer not to. Now in chat, I don't want to hear any of this. I don't use a floating stability bunker because I can't get out of it without a ladder hatch. It's really important that when you lay this base out that you end up with a split gap on every tower. That way we have a self-sealing bunker entrance for each one of them. As you can see, now that I've got to this stage, I've metalled everything except for those triangle foundations that are left stone. They can be left like that because they're only to transfer building priv. Now I'm going to be showing you how to honeycomb the diamond shaped tower that has the removable twig foundations in. Seal up your starter entrances like this and then finish off the loot room inside. Okay, now we're ready for the next phase, and that's building the next level. And all of these towers are exactly the same on this level, so I'm just going to show you how to build this one and then replicate that on the others. I'm just putting in a little jump up here which will allow us access up into that tower. I'm leaving out this wall in the middle because that's going to be our entrance into the compound, and you guys really need a compound now with all the motorbikes and everything that's in the game. You need a secure compound to keep it all in. Now I had to break one of these rat runs that link the towers so that we could have an entrance into the compound. but I didn't want to reduce mobility between the towers, so what we're going to do here is we're going to add a little half wall on top, and this will allow us to jump up and crawl across so we can get to the other tower. For the next stage, we're going to be building the bedrooms, and you can build them all exactly the same as I said before. So what we're doing here is we're creating a second layer. We're kind of using what's known as internal honeycomb. You'll notice that I'm putting double door frames in the corners, and that's to help with stability. There's no point in putting a wall in there, solid wall, it's more upkeep and it won't help the raid cost. The setup on this level can be entirely left to you, but what I'm suggesting is maybe have a quick depot loot room there, it's very handy. Don't have any other loot rooms in here because this is only 2 walls to the outside, so don't have anything other than beds really. Now fill every available socket on this level with a double door frame. We're really going to need that stability on the next couple of levels. It's no problem to lay these roofs while standing on top of the base. I'm only in no clip flying because it's just quicker. Now let's just get another layer on that, so we've got 2 layers to get into this section, and we'll put a double door frame in there. Later on we're going to put a garage door in. Once again we're going to put in double door frames to make sure that we keep the stability up on this level. We'll just put a little jump up here. Once again we're going to fill all the frames. Every socket is going to have a double door frame in, and that means now that when we put this next layer on, it's got the full stability. I strongly suggest that you lay out the rest of this tower in twig, and the reason for that will become apparent in a moment. Now, most of the time it goes fine like that, but every now and again this will happen and you won't be able to lay those roof sections. So what we have to do is a really weird thing. We have to remove that roof and that window. Sometimes it works by just removing the window, and we're going to do the same here. This is why you have to do this part of the build in twig, so that you can rectify this problem. Now if you're going for a base that's got a bit of character and you're going to have the little faces on it, this is the time to put the ears on. For the heli bunker, we're going to need to put in twig double door frames all the way around here, and the idea of that is we build the roof on top of those and you remove the twig and the roof collapses in. But saying that, you might not be the best pilot and you might not be able to fly in through that small gap. So twig out that platform, close it up, land the heli on the platform, and then just do this. Then once your heli's inside, you can stone up the top of the bunker. And here we are at the self-sealing bunker entrance. And we're going to need to put a half wall out of stone and a full wall behind there. And that's so that when we put a shotgun trap down behind that twig, the trap can't be taken out without taking out the twig. Now you can of course put multiple entrances into this compound, but just to keep things simple, I'm just going to put the one in on this video. Now we're just simply putting a second level on our compound wall. And a nice little spot here in each corner to put your turrets in, and they're protected by the wall, so they're difficult to shoot out. Now here's an alternative. You might not want the heli bunker, but you're worried about MLRSs, so this is a good place to put your SAMs. And now we're ready for our final layer of honeycomb. And now we're down in the very bottom in the core of the base. Now we basically want to make sure that everything is metal inside of this core. Now this has got to be armoured because we've lost a layer of honeycomb here, so we need to compensate for that. Once you've metaled up your loot room, you're ready to lay your boxes, and then we'll put down the vending machine. You may not need these flippers to slow down your movement speed. It seems that they've made it a lot easier to lay these vendies now, or it may just be the fact that I've laid thousands of them. Now remember, if a raider does get TC, then he can spin these vending machines, so make sure you lock those boxes. This will make them unlootable. We're just going to finish off our shooting floor now by adding these twig half walls, and then on top of those we're going to put a low wall, and we're going to demolish the twig half wall, leaving the low wall in place, which will block the peaks so that players won't have access through into the shooting floor.